Hey, what's going on? My name is Coach Lee Hopkins. My pronouns are he, him, his, and you're listening to the Patterns of Possibility podcast. This is a podcast dedicated to helping you replace harmful patterns with new possibilities. In each episode, we'll explore topics that inspire you to be yourself, live your truth, and make lasting connections. In this episode, we're going to talk about these overused phrases that hold back from real friendships. I've got 5 of them. You've heard them, you've used them, they're vague, they're lame, they scream, I want to be polite, but I really don't want to get to know you. If you want to know what these are, listen on. I'm going to give you some examples of what to say instead. Are you ready? Let's go. Hey, so these 5 phrases that I'm going to talk about today really irk me, and it's because they really don't give concrete or specific actions and steps in your relationships or friendships. They don't really convey how you feel and spur action on top of it. And what I mean is that, you've probably heard something like "let's catch up soon," which is our first one. Let's catch up soon. It sounds nice, but it's really not specific. And for me, in my autistic brain, I'm like, well, when is that? When are you going to do this? What time? Usually when I hear this, let's catch up soon, it means that it's a polite way of saying I will see you never, because you don't make any concrete plans. You don't put a date on a calendar. You don't say when or where or what we're going to do. And when I hear that, usually people just don't follow up, and including me. When I say let's catch up soon, if I've ever said that to you, it's probably something that is just not going to happen. It's a polite way of excusing myself from ever seeing you again. And if I bump into you again for some random reason, well, I said let's catch up soon, and so I just haven't made time. It's one of those nuanced things that frustrates a lot of people, especially autistic people. If you're autistic like I am, I'm like, yeah, I want you to tell me when. I used to fall for this, and I'll say fall for it all the time. People really didn't put a date on the calendar. And if you've ever heard anyone say this to you, let's catch up soon, you'd probably be thinking that, oh, they really want to hang out with me. I need to make plans. You probably reached out. You probably tried, and nothing happened. Nothing happened. So let's catch up soon is very vague. It's very directionless. And it's one of those things that frustrate me. So leave that out of your vocabulary. Let's catch up soon. Unless, let me say, because I'd say I use it, unless you are in a situation, let's say I think it's most properly used in a professional situation where it's let's catch up soon. And many people may know it, and many people may understand that it means that, well, whenever it happens, if it happens, it happens, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. And that's what people understand about it. So if you're autistic and you've heard this before, let's catch up soon, what I would do is try to set a date. I would do it 3 times. I would try, and then if I can't get a date, if I can't get a time, I can't get a location, then I know that what they really meant was I will see you never. And that's absolutely okay. But if you want to use it in your close relationships, I don't recommend that you use it in your close relationships. Set a real date, set a real time, set an intention behind connecting. All right. The next one is we should hang out sometime. The second one on my list here. Okay, so it's very similar to let's catch up soon. We should hang out sometime. It's very vague. It's very wide open. If there's no plan, then sometime, when you say sometime and when we should hang out sometime, means never. So I do the same thing as let's catch up soon. If I hear that, I would be intentional about seeing if that is correct or not, or seeing if they really do have a desire and they just are not able to state a real-time location at this point, So I would follow up on that. I would follow up on let's catch up soon. I would follow up on we should hang out sometime. And those are, especially in professional settings, I would follow up on those just to check, just to see And if they can't make the time, then they're not going to make the time for you. Because I want you to remember that when you hear those two phrases, let's catch up soon and we should hang out sometime. Um, if people are making, if people really want to do something, they will make time for it. They will make time for it. So if they see you reaching out to them, then they will figure out a time to connect with you. They'll figure out when they can talk to you. But if they can't, then I'd recommend not chasing them. 3 times is enough for me. 3 times should be enough for you. So remember that. We should hang out sometime probably means never. Number 3, I'm here if you need anything. So I'm really guilty of saying this too. Like all of these things that I'm talking about, all 5 of these phrases, I am a person who said those, and I can tell you that I didn't know what to say when I said I hope you're doing well. And just imagine, meeting one of your friends, one of those people that you want to be close to. I hope that you're doing well. Well, what do you know about my life? What do you know about what's going on with me? Let's talk about that, because hope you're doing well seems very distant. This is something that I would use in my emails when I'm talking to people and I'm just following up with them. And I do want to wish them well, but I really have no visibility about what's happening in their life, what their experiences are, how they're feeling on a day-to-day basis. I just say, I hope you're doing well, and that's a blanket statement for everything. In your closer relationships, this is something that you don't want to use. I hope that you're doing well. You want to open up with a real question, something that you know about their life. Like, I would ask about their daily habits. What have you been doing lately? What was for dinner? How was work? What was your experience with Jenny or Bob or whoever at work? If you know that they're going through a struggle, if you know that they're having a problem, then you might want to say, hey, how's this thing going? If they asked you for support and so forth, you don't want to pry. But if they previously asked you for support and they opened up to you about this, then it's appropriate to ask them about what's going on. Don't just say, I hope you're doing well, because it really shows that you don't really know them, right? You don't really know them. So in our closer relationships, in the relationships we have with people, it takes energy and time and intention to remember these things about others, and then to say, hey, how is that thing going? What's going on? Personally, in my neurodivergent connections, because those are the kind of connections that I thrive in, we kind of disappear from each other's lives for a bit. And then we return to each other, and I remember these things about them. I remember that they were working on a book, or I remember that they've decided that they wanted to watch this TV show and binge it and then disappear, and they come back after the show is over, after they've watched all 7 seasons. And we talk about it, and I do the same thing, but we remember these things about each other. It's usually via text, which easier to hold on to those. What did we talk about last? Like, it's a refresher and a reminder, and that's absolutely fine. I hope you're doing well doesn't really lead to those kinds of conversations. I hope you're doing well with XYZ project, or how was XYZ experience, really would bring you together and really start a conversation. The final one, the 5th one, is miss you. Just miss you. Hey, miss you. And I think about this, and I think about those Mean Girl movies from the 90s, or just Mean Girls in general, just people who are shallow and fake. And this is all my own opinion and my own experience. I miss you. Hey girl, what you doing? We should get together soon. Let's catch up. It's been forever since we hung out. Like, that just falls right on the spectrum of, you didn't really mean that. You were just saying it to be polite. And in my brain, I think, I just wish you would say that you can't stand me, or I wish you would just say hi and bye. I wish you wouldn't invite this fake kind of intimacy. So when I hear miss you, I really want you to follow up with something. So if you're just going to leave those 2 words, just going to drop them, miss you. And if you say it like that too. But if you're just saying miss you, I think, do you? Do you? Really? It's been months since I've seen you. I've been trying to get a hold of you. I've had ideas and thoughts. I've been thinking about you, and I send you messages and memes every once in a while. You don't really respond to them, so do you? So my skepticism just raises up. I'll just go, yeah. My defenses are up. Yeah, whatever. You're just saying stuff because it's not backed with any action. It's not backed with any intention. So if you're throwing around this miss you, you're saying miss you, then put some intention and action behind it. Schedule something, either like a phone call, be intentional about texting them, meet up with them, talk to them. Because if you miss people, that means you want to be around them. And you must demonstrate that. Miss you? Then demonstrate that you want to be around. Demonstrate that you want me in your circle, in your life, and invite me in. And then for others who you hear that from other people, miss you. It's the same thing. You want to break that down. Say, okay, do you? Let's schedule something right now. When are you available? When are you free? And then as soon as they're not able to show you that they're available or free, they can't find time, they're too busy to schedule with you now, they have no idea, I give them three opportunities, and then I just let go. I just let go. And I let the relationship take the form that it's going to take. Because if they're not going to follow up with intention, maybe they will say every year or so, happy birthday. Maybe they'll say Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays. They'll say this to you, but then that's it. Then that's the kind of relationship that you'll have if you choose to put energy into that. But that would just be it. So miss you is one of those things that I recommend you remove from your vocabulary unless you're going to follow up with some intention, follow it up with action. So you replace all of this is what I said. All of what I said is basically the fix for this is to replace these phrases with clear action. So instead of saying, let's catch up soon, we should hang out sometime, be intentional by saying, are you free for tea next Saturday? Do you want to check out this movie with me? And then you want to open up the conversations with, I hope you're doing well. You're thinking about, I hope you're doing well. You want to open up the conversation with, what's the best thing about your week? You want to be curious. What's on your mind? What did you eat today? What did you do? You want to open up that conversation to get to know them more. And if you're saying, well, I miss you, well, think about, what you miss about them. Think about something you miss about them. I saw this TV show and it reminded of you, so I sent you this clip. I saw this movie. I thought you might like it. Would you like to go sometime? Things like that. Because your friendships really just aren't built on empty words. Anybody could say, let's catch up soon. We should hang out sometime. I'm here if you need anything. I hope you're doing well and miss you. But if you're not following up with action, if you're not taking steps to really connect and really get to know this person, then they're just words. So I'd be curious to know for you, have you heard these? Who says these to you? Who says these things to you? Have you heard them? And, what are your responses? What do you say back to them? And what have you tried to make your relationships closer too? Because if you hear that and you say, oh yeah, let's catch up. All right, I'm going to make time. Have you tried doing that? And what happened? What were the results of those things? So let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll talk to you soon. Hey, Patterns of Possibility fam. I want to thank you so much for all of your positive feedback for the Supportive Connections course. The outpouring is just ridiculous. If you haven't heard about this, I dropped it a couple of months ago on my website, patternsofpossibility.com. Just click resources to get instant access to the free Supportive Connections course. You're going to learn exactly what you need to create healthy, supportive relationships. Because a lot of us, if you grew up in a household which you didn't see healthy connections, you were trying to figure it out all by yourself, you might not know what it looks like to be in a healthy relationship. This is for you if you find it difficult to communicate your own needs, or you feel like you always have unmet expectations in your relationships. If you struggle to recognize toxic behaviors, or you keep tolerating disrespect, manipulation, or control, this is for you. And it's free. Go to patternsofpossibility.com, click on resources, and get instant access to this free Supportive Connections course today. Now let's do the listener letters. If you have a question about your family, friends, business, coworkers, anything that goes on with your relationships, you can write me at patternsofpossibility@gmail.com. I think I fundamentally don't understand what makes someone my friend. The first instance of I understand friendship is I have, or I guess I've never had, this friend who I talk to quite often and hung out with maybe once or twice a month. They moved to LA and never talked to me again, but moved back recently without telling me. They invited a mutual friend to her birthday party and didn't invite me. Another instance is I'm in this friend group of maybe 8 to 10 people. I've been hanging out with them every now and then for 5 years. I thought we were all friends, but they make plans in front of me, and I also find out after the fact that everyone got together without me. Am I stupid? I thought I was friends with all of these people, but I think maybe I don't get what makes someone a friend. Yeah. So you're not stupid. Okay, there's just some information there. There's some experiences that you're having and information that just aren't clicking. Because if people are saying those 5 things to you, let's hang out, miss you, they may be saying those things to you and they don't follow up on it. They're just being polite, and polite is even as I say polite, I have my own feelings about that. Like, that's not nice to lead somebody on. That politeness, ew. But they're just saying words that sound nice so that your feelings don't get hurt. But at the end of the day, your feelings do get hurt because they leave you out of things. They don't really talk to you about authentic, genuine things that are happening in their life. So it's understandable if you were raised in a culture where things are just polite and people just kind of go along to get along. And if they're bringing you along to just kind of get along to seem nice, then it would feel like, oh wait, they're inviting me, their words are, but their actions aren't showing friendship. They're not showing real relationship. And I get it. So this is where you can really understand what is your friendship like. Because if they're not following up with real action, if they're not doing things that align with what they say, then you can trust their actions over their words. You can definitely always trust your actions over their words, because people will act as they feel. They will. And the words come, the polite words, the kindness comes from kindness. I said that. I have so many feelings about this, apparently. But the polite words come from their upbringing and perhaps their desire not to deal with your feelings about how they don't want to hang out with you, or there's something that they don't like about you. There's something that they'd rather be doing than being with you, and they just don't want to say it. But their actions will show you that. Their actions will 100% show you. Let's hang out sometime. No phone calls. Let's hang out sometime. No text messages back. Let's hang out sometime, and they hang out with everybody else, and you find out after it's all over, then you really know how they really feel about you. And I want you to pay attention to those actions. Now, what I teach in my coaching program, it's all about paying attention to those actions. It's all about making sure that people align with what you expect. And what people really get caught up on, and I used to do this too, I used to get caught up in those words, but I didn't know what the actions and behaviors would be like. So I didn't know what I needed from a friend. I didn't know what a friendship was. I just thought it was somebody that you hang out with and you talk to. But talk about what? I don't know. You just talk. That's what they do on TV. They just talk about things. And for you, if you want to understand what a friendship looks like to you, you have to do step 1, which is knowing what you want. Being able to see it for yourself. I know what I want from other people. I know how it looks. I know what people do when they are my friend. I know what happens, and it's specific for everybody. Everybody has their own definition of friendship, and I know there's a fundamental framework in which most of us operate. Friends show up for you, friends listen to you, friends care about you, but showing up for you, listening to you, and caring about you looks different for each person. Everybody has a different experience with this. Everybody has a different desire for this. So you have to know what it is for yourself so that you can understand what friendships look like, so that you can dismiss people who don't meet those friendships, who just give you lip service, who just say, I want to hang out with you, I think you're really cool, but never follow up, or, miss you. Ugh, Yeah. And finally, I appreciate you being a listener. If you got something of value out of this podcast, please share it with other people and leave a 5-star review on your favorite listening app. We'll see you next time. Take care.